Hello, this is Mike, NoStressMike.com, and just finished my shower and I'm taking Rex out for a walk. But something that's been kind of, I hear a little of this and a little bit of that and all this, and it's hard for me to believe how screwed up things are. And it's not, I told you in my travels, I've noticed it's very bad. When I was leaving the country, I mean, it was really bad. And here, sit. God, let Rex run around here a little bit. And but yeah, things go. There she goes. Thinking is really weird, and like I say, Central America was really weird. Asia was much different than what I was expecting. And I mentioned that one time I heard there was a survey, and the number one thing they said was, what do you want to do when you grow up? Or what do you want to be when you grow up? And the number one answer was famous. So I mean, they look at that as some kind of a, I don't know what it is. And so that tells you why they feel like they get, somebody bullied me, and so they feel hurt when somebody bullies them. Well, bullied on the internet. I mean, it's not like somebody gave them $100 and said, okay, go get yourself some new shoes, and then they go out and then somebody stops them and says, hey, give me your $100, and this goes on every time they go to get new shoes. Then they're going to find out what it's like being bullied. So stuff like this. And then they're talking about being hurting people. You hurt them when they're on the internet, and let's say, I think it was New York. Hey, New York was saying that they're trying to do a hurtful law, make it illegal to be hurtful for someone. And I'm not. First, I started thinking, well, what are they talking about? I mean, there's no way these young people can even halfway relate to what I've gone through. I mean, there's nothing. And I said, I was talking about, I love going to the movies, but the movies are so stupid, I mean, I talked about the heroes are women, and it's, this is fantasy. It's all fantasy. The movies are fantasy, and I mean, it has nothing to do with reality. I think this is coming up with that, and like I say, in the millennials, they're talking about, they're like the 30-year-olds, 20 and 30-year-olds. Hey, and yeah, look at here. Hey. Oh, they're talking about. Okay, I'm thinking these kids, they're not really even kids, but their mentality is like a kid. And I think what it is, they were raised on the cell phone, internet games, stuff like that, and they've never really had to do things. I mean, it's instant satisfaction. They get what they want. You know, it's just you know, they don't know. I don't think they pay kids. My kids, I paid them, you know, but I worked them. I don't think they get any work. I don't even think kids have to take out trash and cut the grass and do stuff like that. So it's really weird. And so I say they're like we're talking about the hurtful law. They're going to get policemen to come out and write you a ticket or jail you for, I guess, raising your voice at somebody. And here, you remember, you know, we used to laugh when they said that you can't spank your own kids, you know, and, you know, how ridiculous. And I think we're to that point, you know. Yeah, I guess you get in trouble. You're not supposed to spank your kids. You're not supposed to discipline your kids. You know, I mean, like I say, I don't do like that. They might have had that law or whatever it is, mandate. They might have had that when I was raising my kids, and I just said, piss on them. I'm still gonna do what I'm gonna do, and the kids knew that I was gonna do it. So, but I think this has really got out of hand, and so now these kids in college, I think they're even worse than what I thought they were. I'm surely, I can't be right, but it seems like that. I mean, this thing about being famous, you know, I guess this famous thing, you know, I thought famous was somebody, you know, that, you know, created, you know, penicillin or, you know, did something really cool. And I think this famous thing could be if you get a million views on your Facebook or Instagram or whatever that stuff is. You know, I don't know. But I think this is what they think makes them famous. And then when they get famous like that, you know, remember, like, you know, you want to be a football star, basketball star. You know, there's only a handful of them, you know, when you compare it to the population. And but when they are looked at as they're supposed to be some celebrity, you know, some kind of famous person. And I think what it is that's what they want. They want all these views on their picture or whatever it is they're doing. That's why you see them dress funny. They act funny. You know, it's just, these are the kind of things that I think that gets them, that they believe is reality. And if that's the case, that explains why you know, the military's had to change, police, you know, I back police sometimes, and sometimes I don't, and that's because they're idiots. You know, sometimes they're idiots, sometimes they do like they're supposed to do. I talked about the inspectors, you know, and sometimes they're real idiots, you know, no sense. And these are things that I think it's not me. You know, I thought I really am, I'm becoming a grumpy old man, you know, but I don't think that's what it is. I think I am seeing reality, and these people are fantasy. I mean, you got to remember, their movies are fantasy. I know my cousin, he was checking in his cable service or something, and they said, well, you know, you can get friends, you know, and I guess that's a weekly show or something, you know, and he doesn't have friends. And they said, well, you can get friends, you know. So it's, people don't have an understanding of what reality is. That's why for us, when we were brought up, and you know, like I say, they did, and they'd go out with them, and you know, the sweet thing and all this, and then the next thing you know, they lived happily ever after. They've never finished what the happily ever after part was. And nowadays, I don't think there is, you know, happily ever after, and that's because when I've talked about mixed marriages, and so then they have kids that are mixed in their culture, and so they lose their culture. So this is what's happening. People are losing their culture. You know, I mean, what is meaningful and morals. And I'm thinking maybe, and you don't really know because you're working on your morals when you're young. At least I was. And I mean, you know, as a teenager and in my 20s, and because like I say, I've owned my own business, and so there's things that you know, I've had to think about, and I'm starting to think that maybe they don't think about this stuff. And so in other words, they don't have no I remember I used to buck the system on on school, the clothing what do you call it? You know, requirements. You know, I can't have your skirt above your knees. You can't have your hair down to your ears, and you know, I mean, and you know, and I thought we complain and bitch about all that. Now I don't think they have anything, but by looking at them now, you know, I mean, they have, I don't know if there's any way to dress. You can dress anything you want, you know. I mean, you can do anything you want. You can say anything you want. This is why we need to make a hurtful law. Because when you can't say anything you want, because you might hurt somebody's feelings. So, you know, and I'm thinking this stuff is getting kind of weird. And I believe it's going to make them weak, because I know for me, the things that make me strong is I stand behind my beliefs, the ones that I really believe in, and some I got, you know, not quite sure. Well, then, you know, I don't really stand behind them. You know, I still have this belief. I'm open for anything, on anything, but they don't have anything to justify the kind of stuff that people are trying to push. Like I say, you know, like I say, this hurtful. You know, well, okay, you can't be hurtful to somebody. Then they're going to call the police. Okay, I understand that. We call that morals, doing the proper thing. But now you don't have morals. You have to be you can't be hurtful. Okay, I understand that. Now, when the police come, now they're going to be hurtful for me. You know, how are they going to, and not only they're going to talk hurtful, they're going to beat on me, and then when I go to court, they're going to extort money out of me. So, I mean, this is all hurtful, you know, so, you know, and we wonder, or at least I wonder, why they go on a separate set of laws. You know, just like politicians, they got a different set of laws. Police have a different set of laws. We, as the Americans, we don't have those same laws. Look at illegals coming in. Well, they don't have to go by the laws that we have. You know what I mean? Of course not. I mean, they already broke the laws that we're going by. And then, you know, it's just really weird things like this that there's a reason for it, and it's not just the United States. Um, I mean, it's all, I think, all over the world. I know Asia, but since I'm Chinese, I kind of keep up with what's going on in China and Asia, and I think all this stuff is coming around. But anyway, this is Mike. NoStressMike.com.